Good evening to one and all. This is Christina Ranjidam, Assistant Professor from Computer Science and Engineering Department, St. Mother Teresa Engineering College. So, in the previous session, we are discussing about the CPU scheduling, first in, first out. Now we are going to discuss about the shortest job first scheduling. So shortest job first scheduling, if it is based on arrival time, means it is of two types. One is a preemptive, another one is a non-preemptive. Now we are going to discuss about the non-preemptive shortest job first scheduling. So like this again, these are the 5 process and these are their arrival time and these are their burst time. Burst time means execution time. Execution time means the process P1 is in need of 7 millisecond to use the CPU. That is the burst time. We call it as the execution time. Again, we have to draw the 3 things. Number 1 is we have to draw the Gantt chart. Number 1, we have to draw Gantt chart. Number 2, we have to find the average waiting time. Average waiting time. Number 3, we have to find the average turnaround time. So these are the 3 important things we have to do it for finding the shortest job first scheduling. First we are going to draw the Gantt chart. So Gantt chart for non-preemptive means that is no switchover. Non-preemptive means no switchover. This is for our convenience. We are use the term no switchover. So now I am going to draw the Gantt chart. So no switchover, shortest job means the smallest job. For example, if there is no arrival time means this is the smallest job. This should be use the CPU first and these are the 3 things next and the final one is the process P1. But if it is based on arrival time means based on the arrival time we have to draw the Gantt chart. So now I have to draw the Gantt chart for process P1. It is arrived on time t equal to 0, so 0 and its burst time is 7. So I have to put 7 here. Next at time t equal to 7 every process came to be arrived. So now I am going to be draw the Gantt chart based on this process with ascending order. So the remainder at time 7 means all these processes are arrived. So I have to the remaining process I have to shortlist here. The process P2 and its arrival time is 4 and process P3 its arrival time is 1 and process P4 its arrival time is 4 and process P5 the arrival time is 4. So now the process P2. So I have to draw the shortest job. The shortest job among these 3 is process P3. Process P3 is the shortest job among these 3 things. So and its burst time is 1. So 7 plus 1 8. And again these 3 processes are the remaining process and they have the same burst time. So if there is a tie up then we have to switch to the first in first out concept. So which process come first that should be placed next. So the process P2 arrived at time t equal to 2. So that's why the process P2 is placed next. So 8 plus 4 there is 12 and next the process P4 is arrived at 5 and P5 is arrived at time T3. So next I have to place the process P5. So and its arrival time is that is 12 plus 4 16. Next the remaining process is P4 and its burst time is 4, that is 20. So this is our way of drawing the Gantt chart. Next we have to find the average waiting time. So the waiting time formula is starting time minus arrival time. Starting time minus arrival time. So for P1 the starting time is 0 and its arrival time is also 0, hence 0. For process P2 the starting time is 8 and its arrival time is 2, hence 6. And for process P3 the starting time is 7 and its arrival time is 4, hence the answer is 3. And for process P4 the starting time is 16 and its arrival time is 5, hence 11. And for process P5 the starting time is 12 and its arrival time is 3 and hence the 9. So next we have to find the average waiting time. Average waiting time means how to sum all these process waiting time divided by the total number of the process. So for process P1 the waiting time is 0, for P2 the waiting time is 6, and for P3 the waiting time is 3, and for P4 the waiting time is 11, and for P5 the waiting time is 9 divided by the total number of processes 5, and hence the answer is 27 divided by 5. The answer is 5.4. So now we have to complete the average waiting time calculation. Next we are going to find out the average turnaround time. Average turnaround time. So turnaround time formula is waiting time plus burst time. So for process P1 the waiting time is 0 and its burst time is 7. So hence 7, and for process P2 the waiting time is 6 and the burst time is 4, hence 10, and for process P3 the waiting time is 3 and its burst time is 1, hence 4, and for process P4 the waiting time is 11 and its burst time is 4, hence 15, and for process P5 the waiting time is 9 and its burst time is 4, hence the answer is 13. Next we have to find the average waiting time. Again we have to sum all those things, process turnaround time divided by the total number of process, that is 7 plus 10 plus 4 plus 15 plus 13 divided by 5, that is 49 divided by 5. The answer is 9.8. That is the answer. The answer is 9.8. So next we are going to just recall the concept of non-preemptive scheduling. So the problem is, these are our problems: process P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, and these are the arrival time and these are the burst time. Burst time means execution time, that is process P2 arrived at time 2 and it needs 4 milliseconds to use the CPU. These are the three things we have to find. First one, we have to draw the Gantt chart. Next, based on the Gantt chart, we have to find the waiting time of each process, and finally find the average waiting time. Next we have to find the turnaround time, and we have to find the average turnaround time. For let us assume for process, this is the process P2. This is the process P2 and its starting time is 8 and its ending time is 12. That is, before the box it's the starting time and after the box is ending time. So let us discuss with one example, that is P4. The formula is starting time minus arrival time. So P4 starting time is 16 and its arrival time is 5, hence 11. And for the same P4 the waiting time is 11 plus the burst time is 4, 15. So this is a way of finding the non-preemptive shortest job first. Up to all the process arrived, we have to do the concept no switchover. After that we have to draw the Gantt chart based on the ascending order. Thank you.